So, China Rising is now upon us. It's been out for about 4 days now, and I think that's probably long enough for me to have got my first impressions of it. So I'm here to give you those today, as well as sort of talking about the state of Battlefield 4 as it currently sits, because obviously at the moment there are some issues, but I'm still really enjoying the game, so I'm going to kind of sort of clarify my position in that respect, because I think in my last video I was kind of heavy towards sort of DICE and EA doing some things that really shouldn't have happened and probably should have happened and things like that. So kind of want to clarify my position in where I stand with the game, because I still really enjoy it, but mainly this is going to be about China Rising. So what is China Rising? Well, it is supposed to be officially the first DLC for Battlefield 4, even though Xbox One users got the second Assault DLC before we did, in some exclusivity deal that they have with EA and Microsoft. But yeah, this is the official first DLC for Battlefield 4, and it was one that was pretty much heavily anticipated. It was heavily hinted before the game was actually released, and it was the one name that was thrown about a lot more than the other DLCs were, like Dragon's Teeth and Final Stand. So this is something that's been in our heads probably since May, June, when we first heard about the multiplayer reveal for Battlefield 4. So it's been around for a long time for us, so now that it's finally here, does it live up to its expectations? In that respect, I'm kind of tied. If this was just a map pack, then I think I'd be giving this a really good rating, because in terms of the map design and the thought process that's gone in there, and simply the theme, because this feels like Bad Company 2 Vietnam for me, and that was perhaps the best expansion that's ever been released for a Battlefield game. It's a really good feeling. It's completely different to anything you've probably experienced before, unless you were sort of playing Battlefield 2. So for guys that have been coming into the series at Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3, you won't have experienced maps like these before, and I have to say they're really enjoyable to play on. I think by far my favourite is Dragon Pass, because just the atmosphere that you're playing in, it's sort of like a really dark tropical area. I don't really know how to describe it. There's sort of some rice fields around the outside and these big tall stacks of rocks that you sort of weave in and out of, and the rivers all interconnect, and there's bridges and everything like that. So it's a great map for sort of aerial, grounds combat, vehicle combat, any sort of combat that you can really think of does actually work really well in Dragon Pass. I really enjoy Silk Road as well. If you think of Bandar Desert from Battlefield 3 and add more sand, that is Silk Road. Well, take away the urban combat that you had in Bandar, but yeah, Silk Road is sort of an extension, I think, of what Bandar was in Battlefield 3. It's absolutely massive, and it's really vehicle orientated, so if you like playing in tanks, you like playing in helicopters and jets, that's definitely the map for you. The remaining two, Gillen Peaks and Altai Range, kind of sit in the middle for me. I don't really know if I enjoy either of them as much as I enjoy the base game maps, which is what I'm really sort of comparing here, because I've only really had experience with those other maps. So for me, Gillen Peaks is really not something I'm going to be playing very often. The central part of the map can kind of become sort of a crossfire zone. So if they're in Conquest, for example, if you've got like one team owns all of their flags on one side and the other team owns all the other flags on the other side, you kind of get gridlocked in the middle, and it's really open. So if you're sort of trekking across there, chances are you're going to get killed 9 times out of 10. Especially when you're playing team deathmatch or domination, that central area, if you run across it, you're going to get shot. So there's kind of no cover on the map. If you enjoy that kind of style of gameplay of sort of taking people down all the time, sort of flanking around the outsides and things like that, then I guess it's a good map for you. But for me, I don't really think I'm going to be playing it all that often. And Altai Range, I really don't know how to classify it as a map. It's really beautiful and it plays really well on Conquest Large, but for me, too much of the action centres around the weather station in the middle, where the bomber is located. It just seems to be that that is the central hub for all the battles in the game. All the other flags are kind of forgotten about, so for me, I don't really see why the map is so big if all the gameplay is centred in the middle anyway. So as I said, in terms of a map pack, China Rising is brilliant. I think the maps all play really well in their own respect, and depending on which kind of game mode you like, there are maps that are better than others, obviously. But yeah, as I said, in terms of map pack, this is a really good expansion for Battlefield 4. But of course, DICE don't do map packs, they do DLC. And included in that is game modes, sort of extra features, new unlocks and things like that. And that's where China Rising starts to slip away a little bit. One notable addition is the SUAV, which is a little bit like a MAV, where you can sort of fly it around and things like that, and it tracks targets on the ground and lights them up for your teammates to shoot. But you can kill people with it as well, as you saw in the intro. You can sort of fly through people. It's kind of a glitch at the moment where it doesn't destroy itself when you sort of run into somebody. I'm pretty confident that's going to be fixed, but if you remember back to Battlefield 3, it was the exact same situation with the MAV in that game. Before it was patched, you could just sort of drive yourself through people and kill loads of people at once. I remember watching top play videos where a guy would get about 16, 17, 25 million kills with the MAV, just on Metro, where he'd just fly down the corridor and get all those kills. So you are able to do that at the moment in China Rising with the SUAV, but in terms of the gadget itself, I don't really know what it adds to the game. I think it's just kind of a gimmick, a nice little feature. I don't really know what it adds in terms of gameplay though. The next thing, and probably the most noticeable of all of the features in China Rising, is the massive alarm bell that goes off when the heavy bomber flies over the top. Now, this was something that was advertised for China Rising quite a long time ago. So when we had the multiplayer reveal of the game, there was a little snippet at the end of that trailer that showed the 4 China Rising maps. Now, there was a point where the bomber would fly over, the camera started to shake, and then it cut to the end to show you how you could buy the thing and whatever. But at that point, that made me think, oh my god, there's going to be a massive bomber that's going to absolutely devastate the battle. That doesn't happen at all. The bomber is really underpowered, really underwhelming, and if it wasn't there, you wouldn't even notice it. In fact, to be honest, when the guy deploys the bomber, you think, oh, better take cover from this because it's going to absolutely rain down hell on the map. No, that doesn't happen at all. The JDAM bombs just tickle your feet. If you're lucky enough to have unlocked the cruise missile for the bomber, I think you have to get 15 kills with the bomber and then actually destroy a bomber yourself with another bit of aircraft, or I don't know, like a Stigler or a lucky RPG shot or something like that. Then that in itself, you would think, oh, cruise missile, yay! No, again, it's just completely underpowered. It's like somebody sneezing next to you. It does absolutely no damage whatsoever. To be honest, I don't even know why it's in the game. It just doesn't add anything. Give me a carpet bomb, give me some napalm or something that I can do to just absolutely obliterate the map. I saw a conversation on Reddit of people saying, well, if you give us a carpet bomb, it's going to be overpowered. Well, fucking yes, it's a bomber. Give me all the manpower you've got. I just don't see what DICE were thinking when they thought, yeah, let's do this. Let's give them 4 JDAM bombs that take forever to reload, and let's give them 1 cruise missile. Why? The bomber, the AC-130 in Battlefield 3 was an absolute powerhouse, and even when they nerfed it, it was still really effective, and they balanced it to a point where it actually worked. I really hope they balance the bomber in this game, because at the moment, it just doesn't add anything to the gameplay whatsoever. Moving on from the bomber, with China Rising you do get access to 5 new weapons. Now these have been available on the PC platform for quite some time now, unlocked all of them myself already, but for those of you that don't know, you can unlock the L85A2 British Assault Rifle, the L96A1 British Sniper Rifle, the MP7, the RPK-74M and the MTAR-21. For me, out of those, the best one has to be the L85A2 Assault Rifle. It's essentially the new M16 for Battlefield 4. It's got an 800 rounds per minute fire rate, which absolutely devastates enemies, and it's really good at medium to long range accuracy as well. So if you like dropping people at those kind of ranges, especially in China Rising, because you do actually have a lot of combat at those kind of medium to long ranges, then this is definitely a weapon you should try out. And you also get access to a new game mode, which is, well, it's not actually new, it's a rebranded sort of air superiority from Battlefield 3 and 1942. So, yeah, but you can now use helicopters in air superiority, so you have a jet game mode and a helicopter game mode. So if you're one of those guys who likes to sort of fly around in confined spaces, killing each other in attack helis, then that's definitely the game mode you need to be playing. So to sum up, China Rising is kind of a mixed bag for me. I'm really enjoying the maps, and that's the thing that I'm really looking for with the DLC. I like playing Battlefield because I like playing Battlefield. All the added extras don't mean too much to me. If the bomber's improved, we get more JDAM bombs, more cruise missiles. Even if they were to introduce a way of carpet bombing the map, then I could see it becoming a valid feature of the map that you're playing on. But at the moment, it doesn't really serve any purpose to me. But what do you guys think? Are you enjoying China Rising as it is right now? Do you think it was really worth your time and money downloading it? Let me know down in the comments below. I really like to know your opinion on this one. But that is the end of the video, guys, so thank you for watching. If you did enjoy it, please do leave a comment down below. It does help me out a lot, and comments are always appreciated. But until next time, my name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.